In the first days of its career, the new Labour Party is chomping at the bit and going forward with its idea of recruiting new teachers. The recruitment and retention of teachers in the UK faces significant challenges. The Department for Education has reported already a troubling trend, with 43,500 teachers leaving the profession in England last year. That's 1 in 10 of all qualified teachers, coupled with the fact that only half of initial teacher training targets in England were met for secondary schools. Additionally, a National Foundation for Educational Research survey indicates a 44% increase in the number of teachers considering leaving the profession from the previous year. And part of that, I suggest, is the bullying in the staff room. If you see bullying in the playground, if you see bullying of children, you can be absolutely certain there is bullying going on in the staff room. The new Education Secretary, Bridget Phillipson, is addressing the issue by initiating a campaign to recruit 6,500 new teachers. Well, of course, that doesn't in any way replace the 43,500 who left last year, does it? The numbers don't stack up. The government aims to expand the, quote, every lesson shapes a life recruitment campaign, but recruiting is not enough. You recruit a teacher this year, 2 years training, they're not in the schools for another 2 years. Even if they're training on the job in a school, first of all, you don't have that many free hours to dedicate to nurturing a new teacher while they're training on the job, because the classrooms are empty. Because a head teacher has already got to find temporary staff to fill the gaps in the teaching curriculum because there aren't enough teachers to go round the school. That's the problem. And there are potential candidates, yes, of course, and Bridget Phillipson is directing them to get into teaching websites for support and advice. But that's not enough. It's not enough simply for the government to act as an advertising agency. Underlying the issues are declining pay, increased job challenges, and the rise of bureaucracy, such like it feels as a teacher going into a new school, it feels like you're climbing a mountain and there's no one there to help. The staff who are at hand in a school are generally tied up with secretarial duties, managing the issues connected to the children in the school. There isn't anybody actually to hand who is there to manage and help the bureaucracy that teachers face on a day-to-day basis. And it is getting to the point where it is stifling. I know I've gone into schools, I've acted as a temporary teacher as well as going into schools in my own right and taking on departments and so on. And the stress is not from the teaching, the stress is not from the children, the stress is from the staff room, and the stress is from the bureaucracy and the mountain. And also the syllabuses and the changing syllabuses, the oddities of those syllabuses. If you're in a subject like, for example, mathematics, where the syllabus is fairly straightforward and doesn't change, that's a problem that perhaps is minimized. But in a subject like religious studies, philosophy, whatever it's called, or English, which are my subjects, the amount of extra set books each year is phenomenal. And a lot of the set books which you get in by going into a school, you inherit the choices made by a previous administration, are twaddle. Utter twaddle. And I don't know why a number of set books are there on the English literature boards to start with. They are not worth teaching. What you want is to engage students, and you want to give them the tools to be able to carry on in a further academic career if they want to in university, or simply the tools to be able to write and manage research in any discipline. And that, I find, is not being offered in most academic subjects at school level, We're not teaching children how to write essays. We're not teaching children how to manage and process information. We're teaching them how to pass rather silly exams, which are based on this box-ticking approach, which is championed by the GCSE, because nobody really wants to pay staff to mark GCSE exams in an intelligent way. They want them to hit coded sentences. That's not an exam. That's something which is it's like some sort of it's like some sort of learning by it's like a sports exercise. It's like playing what is it? You go into one of those places where you throw a ball at some skittles. I can't even think what you call that game anyway. It's just I hope you're going to hit. If you don't hit, you don't get anything. If you hit, you get the lot. But that's actually not what we're marking. That's actually not what we're doing when we're doing particularly an art subject. Even when you're doing mathematics, you keep saying the issue is the workings out, the process, not the final result. And you can't mark the process by simply looking for those key words. You've actually got to be able to understand what you're writing, or what the student is writing. I think we should stop sending exam scripts, particularly for GCSE. I think we should stop sending them out to exam centres. I think they should be marked in the school. And I think we should start trusting teachers. That way we bring it all back into the orbit of one organisation. And if we can't trust teachers to mark, then why would we trust them to teach? And since 2010, experienced teachers, in addition, have seen real-term salary reductions of up to 13%, while average earnings across all sectors in Britain have risen by 2.5% in real terms. So teachers are seeing a declined pay, not unlike junior doctors. And Labour's manifesto includes plans to recruit new teachers by reallocating bursaries and funding for new taxes on private school fees. I think that's fundamentally wrong, because I don't think we should be putting VAT on any form of education, whether you're paying for it or whether it's state funded, which you are paying for as well. You're paying for that through taxation. And despite these efforts, the broader problem remains that teaching has become a less attractive profession. So you're not going to solve the problem simply by raising money. You solve the problem by changing the nature of the profession. And teaching that there's a quotation that it endangers the prosperity of future generations if you don't get it right. Yes, because of the declining relative attractiveness and the challenging working conditions that teachers face on a daily basis. And not, this fantasy, it's the same sort of fantasy that comes out about reality TV. Reality TV, everybody says, oh, you're going to face the problem of social media and hate from people leaving nasty comments to your posts. Well, that can be dealt with. What you can't deal with and what you don't anticipate is the loss of agency. And it's the same loss of agency that nobody who is outside the profession can understand for some reason. Loss of agency. It's something we have to talk about. It's the loss of agency when teachers are no longer respected, not only by the local community, not only by the students. You don't expect to be respected by the students, but you do expect to be respected by the local community, and you certainly expect to be respected by your peers in the staff room. And it's those peers in the staff room, particularly the people in authority, in senior positions, senior management, some of whom, in my experience, are just universal bullies. And I think the profession is attracting those people. They bully the children, then they think they can bully the teachers. They do. They're very successful at it. But as I say, if you see bullying in the playground, it's in the staff room as well. And the teachers are miserable. And Labour proposes spending £450 million annually on recruitment initiatives and £270 million on professional development. But as I say, I don't think it's the job of a government to act as a recruitment agency, to act as an advertising agency. I think it's the job of the government to change the profession. There are things that they could do to change. It's a much longer fix. Throwing money at it and removing money from other individuals, or charging fees or charging tax on other individuals, it doesn't help. It's not going to change the glut, the mess, the morass into which teaching has fallen. So it's about implementation, it's about effectiveness, and it's about reversing the current trend. And I'm afraid Bridget Phillipson isn't addressing these issues. She's simply talking about she's simply talking about advertising. She might as well go into an advertising agency. She's not doing any good at all. She might as well pull back in Gillian Keegan for the amount of value she offers today in her speech.